You're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to KJ Knows Best, episode 2. Joined as always by Corey Coleman, the best producer. Corey, where'd you get that hat?
That's a Barstool Sports exclusive.
Barstool Sports.
Girl Dad. Thank you to the
That-
best company in the world, Barstool Sports.
That's
Please
so
don't
funny,
get
Kyle.
sidetracked.
Were you kidding there?
Yes, I was kidding. We'll just go ahead and introduce Blake. Blake DeBartolo is also on the line, joining from just up the street. Blake, how are we? Good
Hello,
evening.
Kyle. Doing great. Thank you for having me.
And then, as always, the chairman who broke earth-shattering news just an episode ago, Andy Davis. Welcome back on, Andy. He's sipping a Bud Light.
Morning.
Sunday morning.
Happy BMI week to everybody.
Happy BMI week. Let's start there. Let's start with the breaking news that we had last episode. Blake, would love to get your instant reaction if you watched. I'm sure you did. If you haven't watched, please go ahead and click that link, download it, subscribe, mash that button. Blake, instant reaction of Andy stepping down as chairman.
I don't accept it. I don't think he should. But we'll see. There's been lots of rumors that I want his spot and I want to do that, and I don't want to do that at all. I think that's Andy's spot. It should be Andy's spot forever. I understand why I didn't want to do it anymore, but I don't think we're over yet. We'll see what happens.
Interesting. Andy, any thoughts there? That is not, just to let you know, and I can confirm this because Corey was also involved in a message. I will not reveal the source. There was also people saying we've got to make this right. We've got to do what we can to get the chairman back into his seat. Corey's nodding his head. So, I mean, chairman, there is a lot of backlash that you've heard in the group text from rumors, from people that have texted probably, one-off. A lot of other of the participants in the BMI. So, what is your reaction to that noise?
Listen, I'll solve a lot of issues. So, if that's the going rate for the chairman of the BMI, yeah, I mean, I could be swayed, but no, in all seriousness, I'm very happy in my decision, as we talked about on KJ Knows Best Volume 1. It's been kind of a long time coming. I'm certainly appreciative of all the messages that I've received. Everything has been positive. Can certainly understand people's worry. But if there's anything that I know about the BMI, it's that we're a resilient bunch, and I expect the tournament to carry on like we talked about. I'm excited for next year. I'm excited to see what the new committee and the new chairman puts together.
So, I mean, Blake, let me go back to you. I mean, hearing Andy say that, what is the perfect recipe for the next person, the next group of people stepping in? I mean, we talked, I don't know if this was the part that got erased. I don't think it was. I think it was the second part. It doesn't have to be one person. It can be a team. It's worked a little bit before in previous Ryder Cups where certain people have, designated roles. So why can't the same be true to here?
Yeah, I think this particular spot requires, the least amount of polarization as possible. And we've been fortunate that basically everybody loves Andy, and they kind of just, let Andy be Andy, and whatever he decides rolls. And so I think that if Andy's not in that role, I think that's the next person has to be similar in that way. Someone that's extremely likable, because I think the reason Andy decided not to do it anymore was no matter what you say, there's just a big portion of people that are angry. And it's whether they're being serious or not, it's frustrating and it's annoying to have to deal with over and over again. And so I think he just got tired of it, as you can tell from his shirt there.
Yeah.
So, if you're a more likable person and everyone kind of sides with you, then it makes the whole transition and the decision-making process much easier.
Corey, any thoughts? Who would you rank first I'm not going to say first to last, but who would be your first pick to step in if it had to be a sole person, and who would be the last person to step in?
I mean, top three people that I would think could take over. And I think it should probably be a group effort. I don't know if there should be a chairman again. I think Andy should stay on no matter what, just be a figurehead, still be the chairman, and delegate the responsibilities to a team. And I think that's what's happening a little bit in the background, but give them a little bit more relief. So to answer the question, I think my top candidates would be Paul Vogel. To Blake's points, very likable guy. Isn't going to be too polarizing. Number two would probably be his brother Connor. That's a hot button issue, being he is 06. This is a 08 tournament, and I would like to see it stay in the hands of 08. But if anyone from 06 deserves the spot or deserves the recognition, it would be Connor. Like we mentioned last podcast, I mean, he's been around since the Breaking Wind days. I mean, that was my first tournament as well. So Connor's been around just as long as I have when it comes to the BMI. Number three is going to be Blake. Blake knows it. He likes it. He would be great at it. It's just, to his point, he is definitely more of a polarizing person when it comes to his decision making, and he would not back off as easily or take the criticism as maybe easily as Andy would. And I think there's a lot of good candidates out there. The least likely that I would give to would probably be myself and Parker. Just you just don't want me and Parker to be a part of this in any leadership way. You can delegate, you can make us content, you can make us, give us a project and we can work on it. But as far as bringing a group of people together for a weekend of golf, I don't think us two are that capable of that task. But again, I think Andy should stay along as the figurehead. But that's just me.
Andy, is there going to be any other updates? Anything that you will clarify down to the BMI? Any final remarks regarding what you said on episode 1? Or is this it?
Yeah, I hope to have, kind of a final speech prepared, nothing, too dramatic or too, sappy, but I'll certainly thank everybody for coming out and, re-explain the BMI and the tradition and how special it is to all of us, and hope that we can find someone or someones to carry on that tradition. So that's my plan, really. I haven't done any real exploring into alternative options, and I don't want to take away from the tournament in any way, shape, or form. So we'll say our thanks, say our prayers, and hope for some more news in the coming months. It'll be good off-season content, if nothing else.
You know who would be really bad as well is Maddie. He sucks.
Maddie wouldn't be good. I don't think I'd be good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot. I mean, takes a village, or maybe it doesn't. But yeah. So that's all I got. I just wanted to ask around real quickly. Blake, I was curious his thoughts. We didn't have too much time to kind of talk about it. Blake, I want to ask you a question that the chairman answered on the first episode, but unfortunately, a lot got erased. We were still trying to work out the kinks. New year, new problems. So the commish has always said, when we bring him on that first episode, the BMI to him, what his true goals are. Expanding field, keeping it the same course, whatnot. More so of expanding the field. Do you think it's still in the BMI's best interest to keep doing so, or keep trying to beat that drum? Or do you think we're at a good number, or maybe even scale it back? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I think that the more we expand, the scarier it gets, and the harder it is to have a draft and format a draft and have that draft work out the best way we can. I think we added 3, 4 new people this year, so that's a lot. And if we're saying that they're going to be invited back every single year, then we've got a big group of people that are on this list that are getting retread every single year. I think it's too much already, and I think it's easy to get out of hand and to turn into something that is not what we intended to do 10 years ago. But that being said, I think we've done a great job so far. It's always a lot of fun. It's always one of the best weekends for me. The people that we've added, I like them. It's not any of their faults, or if not, it's not that we're adding bad people. It's just the more variables you have, the less likely you're going to know the outcome as far as having it be a good competitive tournament, which is the best part of it. You look back at the old ones, and the ones that are competitive are the most fun.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. Location, you want the BMI always to be at Sapelo-Hammock. I think majority of people would agree.
Yeah,
Do you see that changing? I have an opinion. I want to hear. I guess we can go around the room. I'm not going to even ask Andy because I think I know his answer, obviously.
it could change, sure. It's not the easiest place to get to, but the one thing that it has going for us, which is not always to be said anywhere else, is we can literally do whatever we want. And you look at the playoff hole when we had 20, 30 people driving around on golf carts. We went to 3 different holes till we found the one that made the most sense. Like, you can't do that anywhere else. And if you try, they're going to tell you, like, what are you doing? You have to get off of the golf course. So that's a big plus. And I think a lot of people take that for granted. The housing situation, I think, is basically maxed out right now, which is another reason for growth. Like, we don't really have anywhere else to stay. But that being said, I think it fits pretty well. Last year was a lot of fun. The Nest was a great addition to the tournament. It was nice having a home base there. What we got to do on the practice green and on the 18th hole last year was amazing. Like, one of the best parts of the tournament that we've done, hands down. I mean, I played hole 18 with a 7-iron like 6 times in a row. Like, it was just a lot of fun. We were just walking around, playing golf, having a good time. We had the cell phones lined up on the putting green. I mean, that is what a golf trip is about to me. And I just don't know where else you can do that. But you can't do that in like Hilton Head or Destin. You certainly can't do it at like a golf resort like Pinehurst or Streamsong or whatever it might be. So it just depends what you want to do with the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just go ahead, Corey.
No, I was just gonna say, just to piggyback. I mean, I think I was always under the impression and under the belief of the BMI could move, and then just hearing Blake's conversation there and points. I mean, he's exactly right. You can't do that on a normal course. Doesn't matter where you go, Peachtree City, St. Simons, wherever the hell you move it. You're not gonna find anything like that. So I've changed my opinion just in the last 3 minutes. So uh, kick it back to you, Kay.
Yeah, I mean, yes, there. I don't have an argument to that. That is correct. The only thing I would say, and I'll say it selfishly, as someone who wants to experience more golf courses, more golf regionally, whatever. You know, I myself am open to it for the simple fact that, you know, okay, you could say, look, the BMI is always at Sapelo-Hammock. Go have a golf trip some other time. That's just not happening. I mean, we have right now, there's 2 golf weekends that I can think of. One of them's BMI, one of them's Ryder Cup in Peachtree City. Yeah, if we dropped Ryder Cup, potentially, yes. I, I'm just speaking for myself as wanting to experience different kind of golf courses, these opportunities to get away for another weekend. are not coming. They're not they're not getting any easier. It's already hard for 32 of us to get down to BMI, and I think if we use that weekend, maybe once every ever so years to go somewhere else. Yes, you're putting everything in jeopardy into play of it's not Sapelo, it's not home. We can't act. Sapelo is ours for the entire weekend, but I think it would be I think it would be cool to experience a different level of golf. And for instance, like, I mean, I'm not gonna, this is no one's fault, but I mean, it would be nice to play greens that just didn't get sanded. I mean, if I'm being honest.
That was a fake
So,
picture, by the way, Kyle.
was it?
Yeah, that was a fake picture.
Okay, good. Okay.
You just
Well,
got fake news media.
last year they did that. So
They
I
did.
mean,
They were fine last year, but yeah, I hear you.
yeah, they were slow. So I mean, I just wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind playing, a championship level kind of golf course with the 28 to 32 people that have always read the BMI. But I know that that's probably not a popular opinion, so that's fine. But just something to think about. If the chairman's changing, things are changing. I don't see us going on another golf trip like that, and that's the obvious out. I'll just schedule it. It's not that easy, and we all know that. So
I kind of
that's
like the
awesome.
idea of doing it every 3 to 4 years or something. That's kind of a good idea.
Just
It would
like
definitely
I mean,
it would definitely create some excitement to go back to Sapelo.
yeah, right. I mean, and I love all the reasons you said to keep it at Sapelo. I love how it's ours. I love the nest. I love how we could go play a playoff hole and all that. I just, as we get older, as our friends get more older and married and having kids, it's that trip. I don't see that trip happening outside of BMI, and for that reason, as a golf fan like you, as someone who wants to play more golf courses, that would be the opportunity for us to do something different somewhere different. A course different, different state, and all that. So we'll see. I mean, maybe the new party will bring that to life, but for now, I am still happy it's at Sapelo. So that's all I wanted to get to. Andy, any closing remarks? He's on mute.
Yeah, I know we touched on it in the first episode of KJ Knows Best. Like, comment, subscribe. The part that got deleted,
Deleted scenes. You got to buy the DVD.
for sure. Blake's absolutely right. I don't know where else we have the opportunity to do what not do it, but it does make the tournament. It does make the tournament special when you're able to go to a place that's accommodating. And Sapelo Hammock, for the most part, they have loved the BMI and the business that we bring to them. So it's nice to be appreciated when we do roll into town. Haven't really had any issue with anything from a logistical standpoint with them. It's just difficult to work it remotely.
There's another thing I haven't talked about. I don't need to beat the dead horse here, but the people that are on the course that are not a part of the BMI at Sapelo have been like overwhelmingly friendly and supportive and just wanted us to have a good time. And man, if you go to some resort golf courses and you're dementing these people with 6-hour rounds, like they're not going to do that. I mean,
half the pants we wear would be banned. Jail.
Just again,
Sure.
don't want to beat the dead horse,
Yeah.
but I just
You're not-
wanted to
you're
bring
not gonna
that up.
get-
The
there is
people
no
at
argument.
Sapelo, staff and the people actually playing golf there and living there are amazing.
Yeah, there's no argument there. There's no argument there. No doubt. Well, let's talk about the field. Let's talk about some of the newcomers. Blake, curious, you have Pat Casey on your team, first year BMI participant. What would you level of excitement for him 1 to 10? What would you think it is?
I've been pleased with Pat. Just the last couple weeks discussing the tournament and some strategy and getting out and practicing and what we need to practice. And he played yesterday. He goes up to Bobby Jones and works a bunch and hits balls at the range. He actually got fitted for new clubs like 2 months ago, but of course they're back ordered and they won't. It's going to take him like 4.5 months to get those clubs, which is wild. But neither here nor there. But I think he's excited. He's excited to get out there and play, and he really, really wants to win. Strictly for like a big FU to everybody. Um, his thing is that he wants to win and then never show up again and tell everyone that he's better than everyone, which, you know what? I'm okay with that.
You guys are easily the most favorite team. I mean, you got so many likable guys on your team.
Yeah, everyone really, really pulled it. I'm sure I'm going to get, if it wasn't my team, I wanted you guys to win all week. I'm sure everyone's going to say that.
Yeah. It's funny. The first episode, part of the I guess show that got deleted, we named all the guys that we are coming on the first time this year, and we forgot Pat the entire time.
Yeah, well,
we've
he's
done
been
lists.
invited and drafted, and he bailed on us late, and that's the reason Connor is in the tournament.
Yeah.
Pat bailed on us like a week to go, and Connor filled his spot at Breaking Wind. Me, Connor, Matho, and Gary won. And that's the way Connor's got in. That's really the way 06 kind of has grown into the game. So, yes, he's new, never played before, but he's been involved in some of it, I guess.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Pat. I'm excited to see what he thinks about Sapelo and the Bluff and everything. Excited to see what he
It'll be
does night
interesting.
one. Yeah.
It's difficult to describe.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I got Pat and Remy flying into Savannah and flying out. So I got half of my team traveling in airplanes.
Unbelievable.
I think Maddie's taking horseback the way there, so we're all getting there in our own unique ways.
Yeah. How's Maddie? What are Maddie's thoughts a week?
So
for the BMI?
Maddie played in a 2-day scramble with all of his friends this weekend. So he's going back-to-back multi-day scramble tournaments. He took all of this week off, not going to work this week, and is working out, going to the range, practicing golf, and he's going to head down there. Is he riding with you, Andy? I don't know. He says he's going to be down there early, plenty of time to do something on Thursday if he wanted to.
Yeah, who knows? To be determined. But yeah, plans to get down there early Thursday right now and play. We're gonna play Sunday, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he took the whole entire week off of work and is ranging it, playing golf, getting healthy.
Incredible.
I'm excited for Maddie.
Yeah, last time I played with Maddie, he was really good off the tee. I don't think you were there, Blake. Maybe
If we can win and Maddie wins, being disrespected in back-to-back drafts, going last and then second to last, I mean, it's time for people to wake up.
Yeah, I would agree. Maddie was very impressive last time I played with him. So expect nothing but that down at the Bluff. Let's talk about some of the other. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. I think Andy touched on it last time. Tell me, I guess, between you and Andy, how Chris Petrie got the invite. What was Parker's communication to you guys 2 weeks? I guess he let you know 2 weeks. He knew he wasn't going to be able to play, which is pretty shocking, knowing Parker and how he can heal from broken limbs. So tell me that communication, how it went down, and why Chris fit right in.
I was not involved in that whatsoever. Andy asked me a few questions, and that was about it. But I was not involved in any of that process.
Chairman's silent, so we didn't do much digging. It was just Chris Petrie or no one. We were going to be in a big hole then.
I will say this: that me personally, and Andy as well, I know we've got about 4 guys that could give a call this week if we needed to, and have them check it out. At that point, when a guy like Parker goes out, and you look at your list, it has to be somewhat of a match. So, my understanding is that Andy gave them 2 options, and they got to choose who they wanted, and they went with Chris.
Yeah, it was a pretty contentious deliberation between me and the Golden Shower State Warriors. Without going into too much detail. My view on it, have withdraw, whether medical, personal, doesn't matter. I'm a believer in that the team cannot upgrade. I think that most would agree with that. In golf, it's very difficult, especially with someone with a skill set like Parker. It's very difficult to tell what's an upgrade, what's a downgrade. So there was a couple loaded. Chris was the one that was as close as we could get to Parker. However, I do think that, and rightfully so, when I say this, I do think, however, that there is a large grouping of people that probably view Chris as an upgrade for a lot of different reasons. And again, it's not the shit on Parker's game, but everybody knows, Parker's game, and Duncan, and the off the tee stuff and the putting stuff. And again, there's value in having Parker on your scramble team. However, there's inherent value in having somebody that can contribute off the tee as well as in some other areas where, again, on a scramble, if you 36 holes, you say, how many shots of your force swing are you going to use? I think most people underestimate those numbers. I know in teams that I've played on in the past, and me being a force swing on some of those teams, but we've used many shots from the third and the fourth swing. So caliber of golfer is one thing, but it's difficult. The choice was, do we saddle the Golden Shower State Warriors with somebody who's going to contribute far less than what Parker may have contributed, or do we give them the opportunity to have somebody who's going to contribute an equal amount, or in this instance, possibly more? Still have to play the golf tournament. A lot remains to be seen. I am certain that if the Golden Shower State Warriors win, that there will be a miniature riot, and rightfully so. But it was a very difficult decision, harsh negotiation tactics by the Golden Shower State Warriors, and we were left with Chris Petrie. Now, Chris, we tried to get Chris to play when we were looking for open spots the first go around. We approached Chris and asked him to play. Unfortunately, at that given moment, he could not commit to it, so we had to move on. And I wish he would have been in from the beginning. I do think that if you did the draft over again, that he's probably drafted in a similar spot. But again, neither here nor there. It's what it comes down to is what the end result of the tournament is, and that is certainly a storyline to follow if the Golden Shower State Warriors do it.
That's a good take. Fire take.
Fire take. I don't. Yeah, it's interesting. I was going to ask you guys if you had some kind of working list, because obviously you can't predict traumatic basketball injury a couple weeks ago with the BMI. Now, some would say you got to captain your team better, Captain Dean. I would never let my team be, playing pickup hoops, like we're 20 again. But I think having Chris involved is great. I'm excited to see him. Can't wait for our 4.5 hour car ride talking FSU Auburn ball. So, maybe a little Cardinal baseball. Who knows? Shout out Chris Petrie. Let's talk about winning score. Let's talk about teams that you guys are not scared of, but you are scared of. Blake, starting with you. Can't name your own team. Give me winning score. Give me two teams that you'll see there on Saturday. Up at the leaderboard.
I think I'm gonna go with 20 for the winning score. What was it last year? 20?
I think it was 20.
Yeah, I did think the field is probably worse than it was last year, but I also think that 20 wins you the tournament. I think somebody can get there. Last year, day one, the numbers were so much lower, and and I think it had a little bit to do with the speed of the greens. And I think everyone's going to show up this year and expect them to be a little slower and, um, probably hole some more putts day one than they did day two. The team that I'm afraid of, or teams that I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be watching Connor's team. Connor's played a lot of golf. He's been playing really well. Andy's there. I mean, Andy has a third swing on a team like that where, it sounds silly, but like when you set your team up so the third and fourth swing guys can do what they're good at, and they don't need to do anything else. That's really the best way to have a team, because then they can contribute. And once everyone's contributing, that's when the teams are the best. So I think that team's constructed really well. And I think Connor is just not going to hit any bad shots. He doesn't really do that. So they might have a little bit longer in off to get in on some of the greens, but they'll be all right. And then I think, you got to put Butter's name out there. He's the best player in the field. He hasn't shown us in this tournament yet, but man, the pressure is mounting. It's not going to get any easier than it is right now for him. He's got a good team. He's got solid players. I'll be watching that team for sure.
Got to watch Connor Vogel. Been playing a lot of golf. Professional
Tons of golf.
caddy.
Professional golfer. He gets paid to do golf stuff.
Just proposed. Champion proposal of the year. I mean, tough to think that team will not be there. So we'll see.
Yep.
Corey.
I'm going to take a different route. And this is going to be not the team that I'm scared of, but the team that I want to win if my team does not win. And that is the Puka Shellman squad, just as being a part of the team last year, half of that squad. Andy was on the squad, piss bags for Papa. I'll be rooting for Shark and Eric if my team does not win. There's not a team on here that I'm not scared of either. I think all 8 teams can be there the final day. I know a lot of people would point to my team as the team that they're not scared of, which is exactly where I personally would like to be. I want no one to think about me and no one to think about our team. And hopefully we can shock the world. So I'll throw it over to Andy for the same exact question.
Hold on, timeout. We're not going to go there because I heard a little rumor, and you're going to explain yourself a little bit. Your Wolf Creek round, is that the course?
That was the course.
Yeah. So let's hear a little bit about this this round. Swing thoughts. Week going into the BMI. I'll just lay it on out there. He called me so excited. Field, it was unbelievable. Sat in Publix parking lot, just hearing Corey go on and on. I thought it was you and I, Blake. I was like, what is going on? Corey Coleman.
I'm a little upset I didn't get the phone call for personal golf talk, but whatever.
Well, I think he was checking on my personal health, but yeah, he started going on about swing thought and he found something. So go ahead, Corey.
Yeah. I prefaced this in the BP group text, and it's nothing that I'm proud of, but I'm a big guy. I've always been a big guy, and played golf and never really thought about it. Just put my arms beside my chest and hit the ball, see what happens. Sitting at the range and thought about it, and I said, what if I try and hide the thing? And it worked out well. Had a great range session, and it transferred over to the round. So hoping to keep that momentum going into BMI. Felt really good. Had a lot of great shots. And the saddest part about it is 18. I triple bogeyed and had a great drive, had a great shot in, and then I bladed the approach shot into the woods, hit it back into the sand. So by that time, I was shit out of luck with a triple 18. So could have even been a better score if I didn't mess up there. But Enough about me. It was probably a fluke. Probably never happen again. I'm not good at golf, so again, continue to keep the only cams out of your thoughts and in your prayers because we're gonna need it. We're gonna get demented, and we have no shot at all.
Good luck.
Thank you, Corey.
Thanks, bud.
All right, Andy. Who you got? Score. Give it to us.
Proud of you, Corey.
Thanks.
I think it's pretty obvious. I'm going to go winning score minus 21. I think the day one scores will actually be a little bit better this year, as Blake already stated. I think we're going to get a couple teams in the clubhouse in the double digits. I think minus 10 is really the score that you want to be at day one. And I'm looking at the teams with the most firepower at the top, and I think that those teams are, again, fairly obvious if you're looking at the actual teams and the list of teams. And it's really a 3-team race at my eyes, starting with the Golden Shower State Warriors. Tons of firepower, just upgraded their fourth swing, as we already talked about, late in the proceedings of the tournament. And then you've got 2 amazing BMI champions at the top. So the Golden Shower State Warriors, definitely expect them in the top 3. If I was placing a trifecta, I would box trifecta the Golden Shower State Warriors, the Flush Puppies with Captain Blake, as well as Team Porsche and Captain Kyle. So that would be my 3. I just look at those teams as having the most firepower. I look at those teams as being the most consistent. And I look at those teams with a lot of BMI experience and championship pedigree. So box trifecta, Golden Shower State Warriors, Flush Puppies, Team Porsche. Final answer.
Wow. Sorry,
Yeah.
Corey.
People forget all 4 of our members have championships. But
Basically everybody except for Paul's one.
Yeah, we got, I'll even say myself. I mean, I haven't won in the new era of the BMI. I was close, lost to essentially a hole in one. But yeah, there's a lot of pressure. We're definitely on the hot seat, but that's okay. There's been a lot of people that haven't won. There's a lot of people that win every year. I'd say Blake.
Four people win every year.
Well, I would say Blake, Cam, Joey, usually in the mix every 2 to 3 years.
Dean.
And Dean's won back to back.
Yep.
But you've won 3, 4.
And I've won 2 at Sapelo.
2 at Sapelo.
Dean's won 2 at Sapelo. Cam's won 2 at Sapelo. Eli's won 2 at Sapelo.
Yeah. So I mean, Flo, I think, has won maybe 1 at Sapelo. Yep. Pika's won 1 at Sapelo.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's a lot of people that haven't won. Butters, Hare, myself, Paul's still looking for his first. So
Wait, you have Paul and Hare?
At Paul and Hare.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Paul's trending. Paul's trending.
Is he? I heard he had a bad round this week.
That's okay. Paul's trending. Paul's playing good golf. Excited
If anybody can finish out a round, it's Paul and Hare.
Yes. Enough about my team. I don't really know where we should go from there before we kick off the live draft here.
I'd like to hear your take on the winning score. What do you think gets it done? Where do you think day 1, day 2 spread will be?
I don't think 20 gets there. I was going to ask you after you asked that 21 when 20 won it last year. I know Hare's team was in the lead day 1. Did they shoot? They shot like 9 under the first day, right? I think it was 9. I don't think
I think it was 9.
10. Yeah.
There was 9, and then there was I think there was 3 people at 8.
Yeah.
And then one or 2 at 7.
You kind of stole my thunder. I think it's a worse field. I think I don't think someone gets to 20 this year. I think it's still 18, 19. I kind of think it's the same kind of scores day 1 again. I think it takes people. I always think this tournament, it's crazy. I always overestimate just how different everything is down here. You're not playing your own ball. You're waiting between shots. The putting thing is something you really got to be feeling and dialed in. And it's very easy to get off track and kind of not it gets in your head. And when you don't see him go in, especially on the putting green, it can get really frustrating in a long day and add a little bit of a weight between shots. It's a very grueling and grinding round. So I just don't see the scores going that low. Day one, I do think they pick up day two and ultimately get up, close to 20. But I think you guys have all said it. I think Butters is due. He is the best player in the field. I like his team this year, even though I'm not so sure that he's got a better team than last year.
I don't think he does.
Yeah, and Connor's team, just because the way Connor's scores have been trending, they seem to get lower and lower. It looks like the only swap from the team 2 years ago when they won was Bruce and Andy, right? So
Distance
we
for
all know what Andy
consistency.
can do. Yeah, we all know what Andy can do in that spot. Another team to throw out there. These two know about it last year, Corey and Andy, but the dynamic duo of Murph and Shark, they can get hot. That's always interesting. Love that team. Is it two newcomers on that team as well, or just one? Yeah, two. Yeah.
Ron
So I
and
mean,
Ron and Neil.
Ron and Neil. And Ron plays a lot of golf. I mean, he's been at least putting in the work. If he normally doesn't play like this, so if he does, sorry, Ron. But I've seen him every time. I feel like his Instagram story pops up. He's always on the golf course playing with some of the guys. So I think that team's interesting too, and I would like to see them do well if it's not my team. Um, but yeah, score wise, I don't see it getting to 20. Andy kind of talked about no really change of tees, Blake. I don't know if you can add anything. We there was talks about maybe doing a drivable par four because of the influence we saw at the U.S. Open, and of course the Open Championship, all these link style courses. I know you can drive them, but it was a cool element, maybe a cool idea to think about. Maybe it can happen in the future. Looks like it's not going to happen, I guess, this year, but yeah, I'm just excited I'm excited to get down there, and that course can really get tricky on the back nine day two. I'm excited to see who's sleeping on the lead. And once it gets down to 14, 15, 16 on day two, now you never know what can really happen. As we were on Splink 182 a couple years ago, and we went on our birdie run, most electric thing. Last year, I was in front of I forgot your team, Andy and Corey, but you guys were birdie and everything behind us. So it's really exciting to be in the hunt, or at least around a team that is, and looking forward to getting this thing kicked off. I can't believe it's a week away, less than.
Yeah, I'm excited. I guess we're doing the tea time draft order right now, right?
Yeah. Hey, before we do that tea time draft order, Corey, I want to talk to you a little bit about Florida State football.
Perfect.
Recently we saw the blue chip recruitment of Lucas Simmons. Again, we do it again, bringing in the offensive line. Defensive line is getting better. I'm curious, Blake is tomahawk chopping. I'm curious your thoughts of Florida State this year. Before we break down every single game for the next hour, I was curious to see what your offseason thoughts were. And just give me a little bit of where Florida State is playing football and what conference in 2025.
Oh, 2025. There's that's a hard question to answer right now, but we're going to stick with the ACC for this topic. And Lucas Simmons, like you said, huge addition, born in Sweden, going to be a nice left tackle prospect for the Knowles in 2026. So excited for that. But this year, we're going to really, really get behind Jordan Travis. We've gone heavy in the transfer portal. We had to solidify our offensive line and our defensive edges. So we went into the portal, got some big pieces there. The only thing that worries me is we don't have any playmakers on the outside. We don't have anyone for Jordan to get the ball to. With Alex Atkins taking over as the OC, I'm going to be interested to see if he will be actually calling the plays this year, or if Mike
Former Georgia
Norvell,
Southern Eagle.
former Georgia Southern Eagle, hell of a recruiter, best coach on our staff, to be honest with you. So if he is the offensive coordinator, not just in name and actually controls the play calling, I'm interested to see how the Knowles uh, run a offense with a offensive line coach as their offensive coordinator. Like run heavy, I would assume, which is something that I would be in favor for, especially for this year's Knowles. Um, but excited for what we have coming, and look forward to the future. Look forward to LSU second week of our season. Be prepared. We're probably going to have a little bit of a get together here at the Coleman residence in Sonoya, Georgia. So
That's an open invite.
that is an open invite.
It's an open invite to everyone.
Anyone that wants to come for LSU Florida State, please RSVP to myself, and we will get that thing rolling. So enough about Florida State. We love them. We're going to be great. 7-6 here we come, or 7-5 here we come. We'll pass it back to KJ and the chairman to get this thing rolling.
Hey, before we get going, curious, Corey, just losing Jermaine Johnson off of the edge, who is going to step into that role and get some pressure to the quarterback?
What's the kid's name, KJ, that we got in the portal from Albany?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
his name.
if I was prepped at all for this, I would have the roster right here and I would be able to riddle off. But that kid's he's
I
a
know you're
star.
talking about.
Yeah, he's going to be good. I mean, he's going to get pressure off the edge. I mean, we're going to have to actually scheme up a defense this year, and that's the thing that scares me. He's not going to be like we're not going to be able to rely on the Jermaine Johnson to get back there. We also lost T.R. Thompson, so big losses on the D line, but we did go to the transfer portal. We got Robert Cooper coming back for his fifth year. We have what's the other?
Steven Jackson.
Yeah, coming back. So I mean, we've got the names, we got the bodies. Defensive line shouldn't be our problem, but you go into a season thinking it's not your problem as Florida State, it's going to be your problem. So I try to take all the positions and take it very lightly going into a season and actually see it with my eyes before I start making predictions. But with that being said, off season is Lions season, so we're going undefeated. Watch out.
Do we want to do a dog segment?
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dogs are winning it. 100%.
Yeah. Go Dogs.
I mean, if they don't repeat, you got to think about moving on from Kirby.
Agreed. It's time. It's time. There will be people in the fan base and Tom. That's it.
He's just not cut out for. I mean, do we want Georgia to just be a once in every 35-year champion, or we want him to be back there every single year winning repeat championships? Is Kirby cut out to do that?
Alabama is even going to be this good this year. They've got it teed up again. Alabama ain't anything this year.
They probably won't have. I'm
I
telling
don't
you,
think those guys are going to be drafted. I don't think anyone on Alabama is going to be drafted high this year.
That's not capable of winning a national championship.
Is Stetson Bennett back?
Yeah.
Stetson Bennett, he's on the team still?
Yeah, he's back.
Then if you can't win with a quarterback like that that's already a proven winner, then it's time to move on.
Yeah, and one more thing about Florida State before we get off topic. The bet of the, and I don't make a lot of bet of the year, but to me, the bet of the year is the Florida State over 6.5 wins. I know Corey doesn't like it, and that's okay. But the reality of it is Florida State is going to be aggressive on defense for the first time in a long time. And we are going to run the fucking ball. And it's going to be a great brand of football to watch, and I'm excited to watch it. Over 6.5 wins for at least $3,000.
I'm in.
We might do a special edition KJKB of season totals, win totals. I think that's a segment we can all get behind. At least us four. There'll be 4 listeners. There'll be 4 YouTube, listens.
Can we find a
but that's
place that you
okay.
can parlay season win totals? Does that exist?
No, sounds
Maybe
so exciting.
maybe in the we could propose it to Bovada.lv. We love our sponsor at Bovada.
I mean,
we
give me a Georgia Tech under, Florida State over win total parlay, and let's roll.
Yeah,
For Georgia Tech under.
they're out there to win. They're out there.
It's gonna be
All right. So great segment. I think our listeners are going to really be happy about this one. Before we get to the picks, I'm just kidding. Andy, let's do the live draft.
Well, I do have a question here before this is real. This is real.
Okay.
Before we do the picks, I'm curious Kyle, I would like to hear you first. Which spot do you want to go on day one? What's the ideal spot for you? Because last year, a big deal too was playing behind the Dementors. People got demented. It was an issue. And, to me, I'd rather go out first on day one. And, the tee shot, I guess, is funny. Everyone's watching, but that doesn't bother me. And that's one shot out of, only 1 out of 59 swings that your team's going to do for that day. So to me, it's get me out first and let me play at my own pace. But curious what everyone thinks. Is the pressure of the number 1 tee shot and have everyone watching you that big of a deal for people?
I wouldn't say
first tee shot tons of times, and it doesn't bother me in the slightest. So if you're bothered by that, then I don't think that you really have what it takes to win a BMI. That being said, my round last year with Corey, we were so demented that if you would have said, guess the team in front of you score when they finished at the clubhouse, gun to my head, I would have had 6 bullets in my head before I guessed -9. There was not a world that existed. We watched every single shot. I just remember it on the fairway. We were right side of the fairway and was just standing out there in the fairway, just talking with Shark and Murph, a little bit drunk. I was just baking in the fairway, and I had complained about it for a couple minutes before then, but it really all came to a head on 16 where it was just sun, 2:00 in the afternoon, just roasting. And apparently they played pretty well, but if you get demented, it really did truly, we still put up a good day one score, but everybody's played golf when they have to wait on every shot, and there's not a person out there that can honestly say it doesn't affect them at all. So my thought is that if you can get off early, first couple groups and kind of set the pace, and there are some teams that are going to play faster than others every year, and I do want people to take take the appropriate amount of time, but by God, if we didn't get demented last year on day one, it was a blessing that the Dementors actually did card that -9, because had they been picked or been in the middle of the field day 2, all bets were off. So it was a blessing and a curse. We took the bullet on that one.
Yeah, I obviously I wasn't behind them, so I don't really have a strong opinion here. I don't think I've ever dealt with that issue. But going back to what I said about this week just always being different from when you normally play, obviously your own ball and waiting between even your teammates, I would definitely say somewhere between 2 and 4 would be a sweet spot. Just probably my opinion. Not 1 just because of the excitement. Andy, I did want to ask, are you still hitting you're still hitting the tee shot, right? This year? Yeah. So
Fairway,
just with
I think the fairway is right now in the book. I think hitting the fairway is like -180. So there's still some value there.
Okay. So just with all the excitement coming out of that, I don't know. Being 1, no, it doesn't bother me because once you're off that tee, it's great. You're just looking at the golf course in front of you the entire day. But yeah, I would probably say 2 to 4. But if you put me at the very end, put us at the very end, and it's slow out there. Yeah, sure. That can easily be a stroke or 2 that
I'll tell
You
you
know.
what, I've been the last group off on day one before. That's
Not
not
good?
fun
No.
because you're so jacked up and you're so hyped up to get there and go to the range when everyone's there. And then Andy does his shot and his speech, and you're excited. And then, like, you say, oh, we're not going to
Another
go
hour.
off for another hour. And by the time you get to hit your shot, the energy is just not as what it should be when you're going on the first tee. So give me the first over the last all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Day two, I probably just wouldn't show up until 30 minutes before my tee time instead of being there to watch everyone, mess around on the opening tee shot. So
Right.
it's different for day two, but day one, the last one's the worst spot in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. What do you say, Chairman? Want to crack this thing off? Let's go.
Yeah, one more thing before we get going on the whole thing. We're going to try to do this draft. I think the best way to do it is how we've done it in years past, which is starting with the first group off. I mean, you guys can correct me if we feel wrong. If we want to go in reverse order, I'm certainly open to that. But I think we go 1 through 8 right now. Let me pan my camera around. So we have 8 Callaway Chrome Soft triple track balls. We love our sponsors at Callaway. Thank you so much. On these balls, we have all the team names. We got Blackbeard's Buff Boys. We've got the Only Cams. We've got the Flush Puppies. We've got the Golden Shower State Warriors. We've got Team Porsche. We've got the Lot Leopards. We've got Push and Putts. And then we've got the Puka Shellman. So what we were going to do is put all these into a hat, let the Queen of the Bluff select them one at a time. But I do want to be clear that the draft is not rigged in any way, shape, or form. I know there's been a lot of rumblings in years past about maybe some fixed draft orders, which of course is not true. But this year, all the golf balls are the same. They're brand new. Had to break open a box of the Chrome Softs. And we're going to place them one at a time into the bucket, aka the cowboy hat.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, come on. Goes the Only Cams into the bucket. We've got the Flush Puppies. Good luck, Flush Puppies.
Thank you.
Got the Golden Shower State Warriors. Good luck, Golden Shower State Warriors. We've got Team Porsche. Still
We
waiting.
are the turn dogs.
Oh, the Turn Dogs. Right. Wine
Yeah.
Truck Turn Dogs. Breaking news. Team Porsche. There'll be Team Porsche for the draft, but Turn Dogs, we've got the Lot Leopards. Got Push and P. And then we've got the Puka Shellman all going into the bucket here. So we've got the 8 balls in the hat there. Again, we're going to do it first off through last off. So first off the tee. Go ahead and make your selection. First off the tee, the 2022 BMI, the Golden Shower State Warriors.
Whoa.
See, told you guys it wasn't rigged. Team Dean off first. One of the faster groups out there.
Are we sure about that?
I don't know. Well, to be determined. All right. Second off the tee.
Cams.
The Only Cams. Very nice.
Whoa.
Nice, Corey.
Good.
Wow. Off to a hot start on Friday. All right. Third off the tee. No peeking.
Flush. Flush Puppies.
Wow.
Wow,
Whoa.
Flush.
As if it couldn't get any better and more rigged. Flush Puppies off third. I mean, this is just, sorry, I got to write this down so I remember. Flush Pups going off third. That'll be great. I'm excited to see all of these groups tee shots. All right, going off fourth in the middle seat, the Puka Shellman. Captain Eric Murphy. Good luck to the Puka Shellman this year. This is great.
Wow.
He's sitting there for another hour and a half again.
Should we take a break and do another segment before we finish the picks?
We've got the top 4. I mean, of those
Have we
4,
talked about Florida State secondary yet?
Yeah, we haven't gone through the position groups yet entirely.
with pick number 5 in the lotto, we have
Lot leopards.
the Lot Leopards.
Wow.
Have a day, Lot Leopards. Team Butters. Be a lot to contend with this year. All right, 3 teams left.
Striking up good.
Plenty of time for a nap. Blackbeards, Buff Boys. Captain Bo.
Welcome back, Bo.
Welcome back, Bo.
Took the bluff by storm.
Excited to watch Bo off the tee. All right, well, that leaves 2. The Turn Dogs, Push and P. What could possibly go wrong? Wow, okay, Push and P. Thank God. All right. Push and P off 7,
Goodness.
which leaves us with final team,
Turn dogs.
Team Porsche.
How do you spell dogs there, Kyle? Just curious.
Yeah, great question, Blake.
DOWGS.
Yeah, that's the right way to spell it.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Capital
Official
D.
draft order. Team Dean, aka the Golden Shower State Warriors. We have Team Cam, the only Cams.
I don't know what you're showing us, Andy, but it ain't
No,
the
I'm
draft.
flipping my camera.
Okay.
I was just reading. Sorry, I just got really intense. Third off the tee, we have Team DeBarla, aka the Flush Puppies. Fourth off the tee, we have the Puka Shellman, captained by Eric Murphy. Fifth off the tee, we have the Lot Leopards, captained by Butters. Sixth off the tee, we have Blackbeard's Buff Boys, captained by Bo the Thrill Attila. Seventh off the tee, we have Push and P, captained by Connor Vogel. And eighth off the tee, we have Team Porsche, aka the Turn Dogs. Should be an electric tee time order. I know we just talked about the disadvantages of going last, and here we are, Kyle. So we'll try to
Rigged.
play our pace. No promises.
So rigged.
So rigged.
So glad this is your last year as chairman.
Yeah, I mean, Golden Shower State Warriors. They push, and they get first off the tee. So, as if it couldn't have gone any worse.
Well,
Yeah, that's the draft order, though. I mean, for better or for worse, that's what we're stuck with. I'm interested to see what day 2 looks like, but I'm looking at the list now, and
Before we go, I would like to reiterate a couple things. One, the first tee time is at 10:34, which I believe is earlier than we've done it before. So please be advised, 10:34. Second off, Andy, the chairman, will tell everyone the tee boxes that we will play day 1 and day 2 again, and we'll do the rotating of the blue and the golds. And hole 9 will be blue both days. And third, correct me if I'm wrong here, Andy, but we will continue of not live updating the scores on day 1. And we will go into the clubhouse and present our scores during dinner. Is that correct?
yeah, I think that's been a great wrinkle for the tournament when we, after you finish the round, everybody, what'd you shoot? I think we should continue to do that, and that'll be the plan. Day 2, first, the live updating is, unparalleled and necessary for the tournament's well-being. But day 1, it is a lot of fun hearing the roars, and or not hearing the roars, because again, we got completely demented last year. And who say? I mean, I have instructed my team that every shot that we hit, good or bad, if we make a birdie putt, if we make an eagle putt, we're going to walk off the green like we bogey. So, same battle to fight as they're watching us.
Yep. Also, I've been in discussions with intern Billy, and he will be sending out a scorecard, Google Doc. He'll send it to each captain. It'll be up to the captain to have someone responsible for that. But day one, it will not be live. We'll input the scores Friday night, and we'll have a live leaderboard going into the rounds day 2. And Andy, do we have a tiebreaker for tea time order on Friday night? Same that we did last year, or?
Yeah, I would like to do a variation of what we did last year. I don't even know if that got first episode. I think that it did get cut. We are having
Yes.
a contest on Friday night. That was a big hit last year. Great way to decompress after a long day. Air Harris certainly was the MVP last year, but we had incredible moments out there. Gordy sank a huge putt, and we're gonna do that again, putting up some cash prizes for everybody. But for tea time, tea break order, we'll do a variation of chugging beer and sinking putts.
Okay, cool.
Love that.
Super cool.
Before we go, Blake, any hints on palate cleanser or Champions meal?
Yeah, I mean, really been dealing with Maddie on that. You know, he knows the local fare and he knows the local cuisine. I think keeps in touch with one or two of the chefs that work in the area, and so they're going to put us together something nice. It's gonna be good. You know, it'll be some local fresh food. I think we're going to have some peach fusion into the meal. Obviously because of our team mascot and, you know, our shirts that we wore last year. So there'll be some peaches thrown around, and we're gonna really tip our caps and pay homage to local Shellman's Bluff, because without them, you know, this tournament just wouldn't be the same. So we're gonna tip our caps to the local Bluffmen, and it'll be a great menu.
Love that. Well, any other final comments? Producer Corey, Chairman Andy, for now.
All good on my end, KP. Good episode. Blake, thanks for joining. Chairman, thank you for joining as always. KJ, great job. I'll throw it over to Andy to end this.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Really appreciate you having me on again. Blake, appreciate all the help with the scorecards, and that's a big task. And past that with flying colors, the scoring every year has been absolutely fantastic. Everybody drive careful, please. No rush in getting there. I know we have some late night arrivals scheduled for Thursday. Friday morning, everybody's welcome to head to the course as early as they want. We'll obviously have the nest, which has a great balcony overlooking the practice green as well as the 18th hole. So
I
please,
can't wait to be in the nest.
please show up whenever you're ready. You know, welcome you with open arms on Friday morning. Again, everybody travel carefully. Please let me know if anybody needs any accommodations. If anybody flight gets, God forbid, or if anybody, you know, has any issues with getting down there on time. As Blake mentioned, tee time number 1, the Golden State Shower Warriors will be teeing off at 10:34 sharp, which means everybody should report to the first tee box no later than probably 10:25. Thanks, guys. Love you.
Thanks, Corey. Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you, guys. We will see you next time down at the Bluff.